Rudy, as you think back on your year this year, you talked about maybe feeling like yourself towards the end of the season. How do you reflect on this year and kind of what are your priorities as you enter the off season?
I thought it was a year with a lot of, adversity, lots of ups and downs, but I'm really a lot of mixed feelings right now. Obviously we wanted to win a championship, so it's a lot of disappointment, frustration. But at the same time, I know that, being, was year 12 for me, and going back to having the opportunity to work our way to the Western Conference Finals for the second year in a row. It's not something that we or that I should take for granted. And now the only focus is looking forward. So having a great summer, and we'll see how that go. How I haven't thought about how I'm gonna plan everything, but having the opportunity to really recharge, recover, and then just get ready to keep growing, coming back even better as a man, as a player next year, and keep learning from all these experiences that I get to live, and that we get to experience as a team.
Rudy, coming back from back spasms, you had like a glorious month of play at both ends of the court. What was the difference in that period of time compared to the rest of the season, do you think?
It's a good question. I think for me, a lot of times it's the right before the playoffs. I think getting that. I don't know if it's the season, or I don't know. I always feel like I play better like towards second half of the season, but the back. The back and the hip was something that I didn't think was gonna keep me on the sideline as much as it did, and then I changed a couple of things in my routine, and to really try to make sure that I just strengthen that part of my body, and a lot of it was core, hips, and I learned how to do those things better, and then I just wanted to help this team make it to the playoffs. So I really tried to maximize who I am as a player, as a leader, and we had a stretch that was really key for us to make it.
But that diminished after that a little bit. What caused that to diminish, do you think?
What do you mean?
In other words, obviously you probably can't play at that level indefinitely, but it did drop off after that incredible, say, 5 weeks or so.
When do you, I don't know, it's just...
right after the back spasms,
Okay.
you were like constant double-digit rebounds, hitting 20 points often. That didn't continue.
That's your job to be the judge of that. That's not... So.
I just meant statistically.
Yeah. But the playoff is not the same as regular season, statistically, for anybody. So. But that's the. Sometimes you have a good stretch, sometimes you have not as good as stretches. The most important thing is to keep being who you are, and everyone can be the judge, sitting here and talk. But all I know is that. I was there for my team. I'm not, obviously I'm disappointed that I didn't love the way. I always feel like I have more to give, not in terms of giving all I have in my effort, but I always feel like, there's more I could bring to the table. And I've, as a competitor, I'm always looking at myself before I look around and point fingers. And I know that, for me, I just want to, be able to help this team, get through this last couple of steps, and that's all I'm focused on.
Rudy, Ant last night talked about OKC as 15 puppets on a string defensively, and you see that in their game plan and execution. Like, it's very on point. That's a young team. So how can this team get to that level of attention to detail that seems to be required to make those final steps?
And OKC was really impressive to me. Their togetherness, their consistency, they've done it all year, and really for the last couple of years. They fell short last year against the Mavs, but this is a group that enjoys. You can tell that they're together, but also they focus. They build championships habits, and I think for us we have this is where we the area of improvement is we have championship talent, but how can we keep building those championship habits and championship mindset, because this is what I think is going to help us, that and obviously a lot of other things, but we can point at a million things, right? But those things, I think, are things that we can all control as a team, individually, collectively, as an organization, and I think this is what I've seen from OKC this year is that they're really just like this, and it's not about making shots every night. It's not about playing great every night. You're going to have better stretches, not as good of stretches, but they were together the whole season, and they were doing the little things the whole season.
Do you think that can be grown into? Because we've seen, like,
For sure.
when game plans, you guys try to change things up and whatnot, sometimes the execution just isn't sharp enough. Is that something, though, that you can just learn and everybody can grow with
For
experience?
sure. I mean, it's not easy to have that level of excellence. It's once again we've grown every year. Since for the 3 years I've got here, every year there's been tremendous growth, and we're still a young team. You can look at the talent and the ambitions that we have, which is, rightfully so. I think we can win. This group can win a championship. Has the talent to do it, but it's about keep learning, keep growing, and I'm year 12 and I'm learning every year. So, everyone learns, and I was really impressed with OKC. I think they deserve to be where they're at, and it's credit to them. They have a special team, a special group, and so do we. But I think they were a little more ahead of us in terms of their attention to details.
Is there any part of your offensive game, Rudy, that you plan to really focus on, like in your on the court work this summer?
I haven't really took the time to think about that yet, but for sure. I mean, there's always I'm always when I look at some of these last few games, it's frustrating for me to. Yesterday I scored 2 points. So it's never been about how many points I score or things like that. But I know there's more I can give to this team, and that's whether it's putting myself in position to dominate even more, putting myself in position where my teammates can find me more, when I can really, like I said, maximize who I am as a player. So definitely, I definitely plan on having a great summer and then come back, and once again, there's always opportunity to grow, to get better. So this will be a good summer.
Rudy, obviously you guys had a hot stretch in March and into April, and a great first playoff series. Knowing that you said that Oklahoma City obviously is a great team, but what do you think was maybe the disconnect between after your series with the Warriors to how things went with OKC in terms of how such a high and how well you guys were playing together to the drop off in the series? What do you think maybe led to that?
I think from how it felt, I didn't feel like we weren't focused. I didn't feel like we were overly confident. Really got to give credit to OKC for what they've done. The way they play and how how disruptive they are, and how physical they are, and they've done it except for one game. They've done it pretty consistently, and you look at most of the games we played against them, we were up most of the games, right? We just had couple of stretches where they really impacted us, and we broke apart for those stretches. And first 2 games over there, that's how we lost those games, and then I think first half of the game, game 4, that's where we lost that game. So it's they were the number 1 defensive team in the league this whole season, and they showed why. And obviously it feels like from the exterior and even from the inside, it feels like we underperformed, but I haven't got time to really process everything. But I think I really want to give them credit, because what they've done to us as a team is really, that's who they've been all year, and it's you gotta give them credit.
Rudy, Finch last night said that this team did not do a good enough of a job of involving you offensively this season, and I'm curious what that looks like. On the floor, can you think of specific things from your Utah time that maybe you could kind of copy paste from there and involve? What does greater and more effective involvement of you with this team offensively look like?
I'm like I said, I'm always looking at, before I look at others, looking at what can I do better, how can I put myself in better positions to receive the ball, when I receive the ball, what do I do with it for the team? Watching the film, for me, it's really, I think obviously just the lobs. I don't know how many lobs there was this series, and this is one way. I think that's really tough to guard when you just throw it up there, and then for me, just those a lot of it, those mismatches situation. When they decide to go small, or when I run the floor and I have a small guy sitting behind me, guarding me. I thought we did it a couple of times, and it was great. But as a team, that's not really been who we are this whole season. And so for me, I'm just, the only way I see it is like I need to get better position. I need to find ways to give that confidence to coaches, teammates, to being able to find me more, because I know that when they do, it's size and finishing around the rim. You draw fouls, you get easy baskets, puts a lot of pressure on the other team, and we've done it. And when we did, it was really hurting the other team, And I think one way, for me, like offensive rebounding was a way I tried to really, compensate that and really impact the teams we played. OKC did, obviously they have more size and a lot more physicality. So it was, I think I wasn't happy with the way I did it for the whole series. There was a couple of good games where I thought I should have been better in that area this series. But just try to find ways to impact the games, and I talk to my teammates, but I tell them, I'm open, throw the lob, things like that. But I know it's not easy at all, and we just have to keep working. It's it's on me and it's on everybody to keep working how to be able to maximize each other as players.
Rudy, that OKC defense and how dominant they were this year, that wasn't you guys last year. You guys were the clear standard in the NBA. Obviously, personnel changed some, but you guys still did have a lot of elite defense on this team. So why do you think the standards seem to kind of fall a little bit for you guys on that end?
That's a great question. I think I think we had some great defensive stretches and sometimes some really bad defensive stretches. And I think, we had more breakdowns that we should have if you want to be a great defensive team. And you can survive that. And, there's a lot of ways of having breakdowns that I won't get into. But I think that's the main thing, right? And once again, I take a lot of that on myself, especially when you talk about defense and how I'm still gonna have to watch rewatch some of the games and things like that, see the things that I could have really done better for this team. But I think that's what it is, consistency. I thought we were great when we were all locked in and playing to all level of urgency and all level of physicality. But when we weren't, we dropped. And this season we had a couple stretches when it happened, and these playoffs we had a couple more like stretches within the games when it happened. And against the best of the best, it's hard to survive. Thank you.